Good evening, my name is Katinka. I'm the seamstress at the cottage and welcome back. It is so cold at the moment here in South Africa and our houses aren't really warm, so I'm so happy for this fire. But tonight I'm not here to talk about the fire. I'm going to tell you about some of my favorite books. And I'm not going to go in detail into it, but I'm going to tell you about the ones that I kept. As you know, about a year ago, I packed up my life and I started gallivanting all over the world. And at the moment, I'm back here to spend time with family and to sort some stuff out. And while I'm here, I thought I'll just sort out some of my sewing supplies and make sure everything is fine and not moth-eaten. This is what it looks like when a seamstress pack up her house. So all of these things were in storage. And I'm busy trying to consolidate it and make it more streamlined because my storage space is not that big. So I have been going at it. And some of the boxes are gone already. And then my fabrics go in these buckets. They actually work really well. So I came across my books. I don't have a lot. And each of them I really love. The ones I didn't love that much I passed on to friends or gave them away. And some of them are sold because you can't really find them here. My first one I want to tell you about is this DMC Encyclopedia of Needlework. It looks like I think it was first printed in the 50s. And it is just so awesome. It has like everything you can think about. I'm just going to take my glasses off so I can tell you everything I'm talking about. So it shows you how to make lace, it shows you how to embroider, it also has some information about the different types of stitches you can use, and I love this book. It is really one of those books that I can go into and it will give me whatever information I need. And a lot of the things that we have today is not as in depth. Because people can Google it, so they didn't need to go and read. And this book, I will never let go, because it is just so precious. And I most likely won't use a lot of it, but when I do use it, it is really helpful. DMC is embroidery thread that you find here. I don't know if you find it in other places as well, but it's also like a knitting yarn or a crocheting yarn. So this book is just awesome. The next one is Couture Sewing Techniques by Claire B. Schaffer. Now, this is literally one of my all-time favorite books. I love the detail they give you. They show you different dresses that has been made at different times, and then they explain the techniques that has been used. And it's almost like a history of sewing and how to get all of the different types of techniques, how to get it done properly. And I literally have gone through this book regularly, at least once a year. Like shaping the garment. This has helped me a lot when I was doing a coat a while ago, and how to measure. And all of those things are just so useful. So if you ever want a book that you can actually reference to when you get stuck, this is one of those that you should have on your bookshelf. The next one is this. And this lady is Linda Meinhardt. It is also Couture, the Dressmaker's Handbook of Couture Sewing Techniques. Essential step-by-step techniques for professional results. Now, this lady is just so awesome. Go and Google her. I kind of met her through Instagram, but I've had my eye on this book beforehand. And when it came out with South African rand and the dollar, it was just too expensive. So I finally found one that was secondhand, and I ordered it. And it took about 5 months to get to me. And I wrote Linda a letter and saying, oh, I love the book and thank you for the work she's doing. And she sent me a book that was signed. So I took the second-hand book and I gave it to a friend of mine who also loves sewing. And I kept the one she sent me. To Katinka, may you be inspired. Linda Meinhardt. And what I love about this one is it's a little bit more simple to take you through the steps. It literally takes you step by step, and it is so helpful. I mean, it shows you how to do binding, shows you how to do horsehair, all the different things. So these two are my top favorite books. And then the next ones is more, I like them. So since Alabama Studios Sewing Patterns, since their designs came out many moons ago, I have been inspired. I've made a few inspirational pieces that I was inspired by their things. But my friend sent me this book and I love it. It is basically telling the story of where they started and then showing you some of the things and also showing you the patterns and how to do the stitches. And a lot of her things is done by hand. So it's literally, I would say, I almost want to say this is the original slow stitching process. And what she also did is she found like dead stock fabric to start with. She would buy up old t-shirts to start this projects with. And her work has just been going from strength to strength through the years. I recently watched a documentary about her and I was so inspired by that. The next one is pattern cutting. Nick Shanmanlaw, I hope I pronounce it right. And I like this one because it works from the principle that you do draping and you have to understand how the lines work and how to get the effect that you're looking for. And it's more a loose approach. You do have your tools, but I found this approach actually kind of easier than a lot of other approaches that I've tried. And it gives you all the different instructions, like to do a pants block and. Love this book. And then, this is one. I know granny chic is not part of the process anymore. Most people have moved on from it. But I just get inspired by the way they use. This was granny chic by Dottie Angel, I think. Yeah. Tiff Fussell and Rachel Blondell. And it is just that whole thing of taking your granny's doilies and making your house pretty with it. And like I said, I know that fashion has moved on from it, but I still love the way they use texture and color and all of the different things to create beauty around them. And that's the type of thing that I really love, is what do I have at my disposal and what can I make with it. And then Simplicity, the best sewing book. The essential reference for all home sewers. Now, I use this book a lot with my students. What I love about it, it's got like these little tags on the side. So, chapter 3, Universal Basics. And then it is things like your sewing machine. How does the sewing machine work? And how does the seams work? It is from A to Z, all the things you need to know about sewing. And if you start, it's maybe not a bad idea to get this one in your collection. The next one I kept because I just love, it's called the Burda Style Sewing Handbook. And again, it takes you through the process of sewing and how to set up and how to draw the patterns from your Burda pattern book. But also, it gives you the patterns here at the back, like those, the ones where you have to trace them off. And what I like about this is sometimes when you read the magazine and you try to do the Burda's magazine patterns, I find them a bit difficult. But with this, it puts it out completely in a form that you can understand and you don't have to think twice of how to use those patterns. And then there is this one. Designing clothes with the flat pattern method. So I've used this as well to draw patterns, and I don't always like this process. It basically shows you how to go through the process of measuring and drawing up your blocks, and it's really well put out. So if you just follow the instructions, you can actually draw up your own patterns. But I prefer the other one a bit more than this. But if you do basic patterns, this is actually a very good guide. And if you're interested in making your own patterns, these two are some of my favorites. And then the best for last, I love Japanese sewing books. And I have been looking for a few, the specific ones that I've been looking for. And my friend, when she come across them, she always buys them for me because she can't really find them in South Africa. And the first one she got me was the Daily Sewing Book. And I love it. I think I've made one thing out of this. There's a video up called Japanese Sewing Patterns. I made E2, actually down there. And where I made a dress on that pattern. And I really loved it. Then basic black. And it's just different dresses and things in black. I love this dress. I think somewhere in the future I will make it. It's also the dress that's on the front. What I like about this also is it gives you like the drawings. So you can see how to put things together and how to do it. And even this one is in English. Some of them are in Japanese. And I don't understand Japanese. So what I will do is I will look up the letters on Google and then I will type it in, or sometimes I will take a photo and ask Google to translate it for me. And then the last one is this one, layered one pieces. And there I kept this one because a few of them, when I moved, I couldn't take them all, but I kept the ones that I really still want. I knew I'm going to make something out of. And this is the dress that I still want to make. The only thing is their patterns is not that big. I think it only goes up to a size 14. But I can adjust it, so I'm fine. But just keep that in mind. There's another one that I want to make. And that is all my sewing books. They will be going back into boxes and put into storage. But it was so nice to be reunited with them for a bit and get re-inspired. I would really love to hear which sewing books you are attached to. And maybe put some suggestions in the comment section so that other people can also go and look up your books. And I would love to also go and look up the books that you say you can't live without or you really love. I always love spending time with you, and my back is so nice and toasty after being cold the whole day. And I'm going to see you in the next video. If you liked it, please put a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, I would love it if you join this community by subscribing. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.